In terms of how we see it affecting pricing, at the moment we don't believe that is affecting pricing. Mainly because the market has been driven by large local development companies. Very few institutional investors have actually transacted over the last couple of years in the market. So in terms of pricing, like Jos was commenting earlier on, it's very difficult to set a baseline to say these are the investment that they were transacted, because the volume and the available information doesn't show a good level of depth of the information that we receive. So it would be complex to actually set levels of pricing. But how we see it affecting further in the future, I don't believe that the international investors that will be coming over to Turkey will affect the pricing of the market. I think it's more to do with the quality of the assets, the typology of the assets, and the expectations of the seller and the buyer. Again, we speak about a country of nearly 80 million people, a very, very fragmented market in terms of structure of the cities. Istanbul on its own, it's 15 million inhabitants divided on 2 continents with a very accidented geographic location. So the way you approach Turkey should be with a good set of information before you actually try and understand the pricing, because it has an ability, especially Istanbul as being the major focus of these international investors, to have its own history behind the pricing.
If we look at, let's say, the period 2005-2008, of course, Turkey becoming in the limelight of the investor market, but at the same time, the international economy still doing well and the investors all in strong shape, and a lot of competition in the acquisition. So we have seen a very rapid yield appreciation in those years. But obviously, let's say the price mechanism since the start of the global crisis was not only connected to Turkey, but particularly also the international market performance and the ability of investors to invest. So what we have seen is a short-term, quite sharp depreciation and then a partly recovery. But as Anthony already mentioned, the number of references in the market has been relatively low. But I think in that sense, I'm quite promising, quite positive about the future, not only with regard to retail, but basically regard of all the sectors. And I think the fact that Turkey is country of honor at the MIPIM, that will definitely help. Oh. But what I hope to see is that, let's say, the expectations on the seller side and the expectations on the buyer side, that distance which we often see in the market, that's getting closer, so that we get a more realistic picture of where the prices are heading.